Hello everyone, welcome to the another lecture of environmental studies. Our course code is 22447. In this lecture we are going to see our unit outcome 4L, 4M and 4N. Our topic is environmental pollution, and in that we are going to see subtopic municipal solid waste, biomedical waste and e-waste. To satisfy our topic, we are going to see our course outcome D, applied techniques to reduce environmental pollution. What we will learn today? Here we see what are the learning objective of today's lecture. First one is agenda point, introduction to the solid waste. Second, types of solid waste. Third one is characteristics of solid waste. Fourth, impact of solid waste. And fifth, management of solid waste. To complete all the agenda points, we are going to see the contents of lecture 4.7, municipal solid waste, biomedical solid waste, e-waste, their sources, their generation, their characteristics, their effects and methods to manage. Our learning objective or key learnings for today's lecture is state characteristic of solid waste. In that we are going to see state the impact of solid waste, and second, describe incineration, RDF and sanitary landfilling. And this is the concept map of solid waste. In that we are going to see municipal solid waste, biomedical waste and e-waste. So let's start with municipal solid waste. Solid waste means what? Here we can see the waste which is solid in nature and discarded by community because of it has no value of no use. In similar way, we can say that it is solid garbage which do not have any value or it do not have any kind of use is nothing but solid waste. So let's see the example of solid waste. Chocolate with wrapper has its value and use. When chocolate is wrapped in the plastic wrapper, it has its own value and use. But when chocolate is get consumed, then the wrapper, then we have only a wrapper, that is empty wrapper. It is solid in nature, it don't have any value and don't have any kind of use. It's considered as the solid waste. There are few examples of the solid waste like papers, plastic, glass, metal, rubber, food waste, vegetable waste, cardboards, leaves, street waste, biomedical waste, e-waste, agriculture waste, industrial waste, construction and demolition waste, etc. So let's see one by one example. Paper. So after reading a newspaper, after a few days it has no value and it has no use, so it's come with the under municipal solid waste. Another one is plastic. After certain use we cannot use polythene bags, it comes under solid waste. Glass, a broken glass has no use, it's come under the solid waste. Metals, rubbers, food waste, vegetable waste, we can see that leaves, it has no value and it has no use. Biomedical waste, e-waste. E-waste means suppose you have a computer, it is not working, we replace some parts, so the remaining part becomes the e-waste. It has no value and no use, so those comes under the municipal solid waste. In this picture we can see the wrappers of the dairy milk, bubbly, flake, those are comes under the solid waste. Solid waste means what? They have solid in state, it has no value and no use. The another topic is in that municipal solid waste. Its short form is MSW. The solid waste which is generated within the municipal limits of the city or town is called as MSW. So what is the exact definition of the MSW? It is the solid waste. Solid waste means what? The waste in a solid form has no value and no use. But this kind of solid waste is generated within the municipal limit of the city or town is called as MSW. Means the garbage, the solid waste generated in the city area or the town area is referred as municipal solid waste. So what are the different types of sources of the municipal solid waste? So let's see. Domestic sources. Domestic source means what? The sources from the homes like papers, plastic, glass, metal, food and vegetable waste, household, etc. So those are the domestic sources of the municipal solid waste. In commercial sources, paper, plastic, cardboards, etc. comes under commercial sources. Institutional sources, paper, plastic, cardboards, etc. Street waste, leaves, soil, ash, sand, etc. comes under municipal solid waste. Another one is market waste, vegetable and fruit waste, paper, plastic, etc. Construction and demolition waste, sand, broken bricks, waste concrete, old reinforcement, etc. So everyone aware of this type of sources. So let's see one by one. Domestic sources, in that we can see the papers. For household application, we see the different papers used. After the use, they are no value, no use. So this comes under the solid waste. Another one, the plastic. Those come under the solid waste. Broken glasses, metals, food and vegetable waste. So those are the household sources or domestic sources of municipal solid waste. They don't have any value or they don't have any use. Another one is commercial sources. So in the commercial sources, we see the papers, plastic and cardboards. Cardboards means what? Suppose there are any kind of the packages which comes under the box. The box is made of cardboards. So the cardboards, after the use of inside package material, the package don't have any use or it don't have any value. So it comes under the commercial sources. It's made up of the cardboards. Another one is external sources. Here we can see paper, plastic and cardboards. Street waste, leaves. There are many trees on the roadsides. Because of that, leaves, ash, sand, etc. So those are the street waste. Here we can see the sand for the constructional sites. The high was used from the wind, the soil, the sand is comes on the roads, and this is referred as the street waste. Another one is a market waste. When you visit the market, after the we can see there are huge vegetable and fruit waste are there. So this comes under the municipal solid waste. And last one is construction and demolition waste. From the construction site, we can see sand, broken bricks, waste concrete, old reinforcement comes under the municipal solid waste. Here we can see the diagrammatical information about the municipal solid waste. Let's see the generation of municipal solid waste. Per capita generation of waste varies from 200 gram to 600 gram per capita per day. Per capita per day means per person per day. So one person in a city or rural area can form 200 gram to 600 gram solid waste per day. That means the average generation rate at 0.4 kg per capita per day. That means one person can generate solid waste up to 0.4 kg per day. As per the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs annual report for the year 2016-17, it is estimated that the total generation of solid waste is approximately 1,50,000 tons per day. Out of the total, approximately 90%, that is 1,35,000 tons per day is collected. Out of the collected waste, 20%, that is 27 ton per day is processed, and the remaining 80%, that is 1,08,000 ton per day is going to dump sites. So here we can see 1,50,000 per day is a solid waste, among which 90% is collected. So you can imagine 50,000 ton per day is garbage is not collected. How they are pollute our city? It's very important parameter in which 27,000 ton per day solid waste is processed, means they reuse or recycle, and remaining 80%, that is 1,88,000 ton per day is going to dump sites. Here we can see how much garbage or solid waste we can generate per day. So how the environmental pollution is happens here and how to overcome this is very important. So here we can see the physical characteristics of solid waste. Municipal solid waste, here is the density, moisture content, size distribution, field capacity, permeability, porosity. Those are some physical characteristics of municipal solid waste. So here can we see physical composition of municipal solid waste. So here we can see the different parameters like metal, glass, ceramic. What kind of the solid waste is this? So here we can see low income countries. So there are basically the table is created by the country levels. So low income, middle income and high income countries. How the municipal solid waste are generated throughout the countries, here we can see. The first parameter is metal, in percentage we can see. The low income countries, that is the income per person is less than $360, where the metal percentage is 0.2 to 2.5. In middle income countries 1 to 5 and high income countries 3 to 13. So here we can see the countries having high income, which causes more municipal solid waste. As the living standard increases, the solid waste is goes on increases. Here we can see glass, ceramic. Only the one parameter is here we can see food and garden waste. Only this parameter is lower in high income countries, or other parameter is we can see at very high level. So you can refer this table for physical composition of municipal solid waste. And here we can see the chemical characteristics of the municipal solid waste. Population range in million, 0.1 to 0.5, 0.5 to 1, 5 and above. This is the population range where we can see chemical characteristics of MSW, that is the percentage of nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, C2N ratio, and calorific value per kilogram per kg. So you can also refer this table for the chemical composition of MSW. So what is the impact of municipal solid waste on public health and on environment? So let's start with the public health. Chemical poisoning through chemical inhalation. Uncollected waste can obstruct the storm water runoff resulting into the flood. Low birth weight, cancer, congenital malformations, respiratory diseases, neurological diseases, nausea and vomiting, mercury toxicity from eating fish with high levels of mercury, plastic found in oceans, ingested by birds, resulted in high algae population in rivers and epidemics through stray animals, etc. So those are the impact of municipal solid waste on the human health, which causes chemical poisoning, floods, low birth weight, cancer, neurological diseases, vomiting, toxicity from fishes, plastics found in oceans, epidemics. So those are the impacts we can see on the public health. Similarly, those MSW also impact on the environment. So what are they? You can see here, soil population due to dumping of MSW on soil. So here is the soil pollution which happens. Air pollution due to methane emission, global warming and climate changes. Water pollution due to leachate generation and its contamination into water bodies. Fires within the waste dumps, bird missing above the dump site affects aircrafts, create nuisance, etc. So those are the environmental effects due to MSW. So methods of MSW management. First one is sanitary landfilling, incineration and refuse derived fuels RDF. So here we can see sanitary landfilling. What is exactly meaning of sanitary landfilling and how it is works? Let's see. Sanitary landfilling. Sanitary landfills refers to the engineered facility for the disposal of MSW, designed and operated to minimize public health hazards and environmental impact. So this is one technique used to dispose MSW. And another one is components of sanitary landfilling. That's liner, leachate management system, landfill gas management facility, groundwater monitoring wells, and final cover at top. So in that diagram, we can see here how the system is works. In this diagram, we can see there is a closed structure is created underground, where we can see the wall is also called as liner. After the wall, there is gas leachate collection system. There is a gas recovery system, and here is solid waste. The plant is similarly work how the biogas plant is works, where we can see the leachate manipulated system in which the gas is created, through which we can use this gas for various functions. So this is municipal solid waste, sanitary landfilling working. So revision, what we lecture till? Solid waste, municipal solid waste and its sources, regeneration of municipal solid waste, characteristics of municipal solid waste, and methods of MSW management. So here we see what are the importance of the solid waste management, how it is treated. Another topic is biomedical waste. So what exactly meaning of the biomedical waste? So let's see first what is exactly meaning of the biomedical waste. The waste which is generated from healthcare facilities during diagnosis and treatment is called as biomedical waste. The sources of the biomedical waste: hospitals, clinics, path labs, blood banks, nursing homes, funeral service, dental clinics, animal research, mortuaries. So those are the sources of biomedical waste. It is also referred as BMW. So what exactly this means? Suppose you get any treatment, any kind of treatment in the hospital. For that purpose, you see there are use of different saline bottles, near injections or medicine wrappers. You can see. So these are treated as biomedical waste. Here we can see the sources of this. The hospitals, from the hospital you can see the syringes, injections, saline bottles. In clinics we can see the similar. In pathology labs we can see the different bottles. Blood banks we can see the plastic bottles. In nursing homes we can see the saline pipes. In mortuaries, burial services we can see the different services are there. So those are referred as the biomedical waste. So here we can see biomedical waste. In that there are two categories. First one is non-hazardous, which having percentage 75 to 90% and hazardous 10 to 25%. The hazardous again divided into two categories, that is infectious and other hazardous. In infectious, we can see the percentage is 15 to 18%. The first one is sharps, non-sharps, and liquid waste. So those are infectious hazardous biomedical waste, and other hazardous in that we can see radioactive waste, discarded glass, chemical waste, and ash. So here we can see generation of biomedical waste. The generation of biomedical waste in India is 1 to 2 kg per bed per day. About 484 ton of biomedical waste are generated per day in India, out of which 447 ton are traded. So here we can see, as compared to the solid waste, municipal solid waste, 80% is non-treatable. They are directly going to dump sites. But here in medical waste, approximately 90 to 92% is treated. Okay. So here we can see the composition of the biomedical waste. We can see out of 100%, 40.28% is plastic, 19.44 is textile, 17.34 is liquids, 11.6 is paper, 6.16 is glass, 1.73 sharps, and other is 3.45%. So what comes under the plastic? In plastic we can see the different saline bottles, pipes, syringes comes under the plastic. In textile, patient dress comes under the textile. In beds, bed covers comes under textile, that is 19.44. In liquids, 17.34% comes under the biomedical waste. In papers, 11.60. In glass, 6.16. In shops mean what? 1.73. The weapons used by doctors for operation or different purposes comes under the shops, and others is 3.45%. So those are the composition of biomedical waste. Here we can see the major contribution in the composition of the BMW is plastic, and another one is textile. So let's see the impacts of biomedical waste on public health and on environment. On public health, now say an ometic, low birth weight, airborne diseases, chemical poisoning, neurological diseases, contagious diseases, cancer, and effects on animal. So those are the impact of BMW on the public health. And what is the impact of BMW on the environment? Here we can see groundwater contamination, radioactive pollution, airborne pollutants, air pollution, soil pollution. So those are the impacts of biomedical waste on the environment and the public health. So what are the different methods to manage biomedical waste? The first one is secured landfilling, incinerations, shredding, deep burial, autoclaving, microwaving, chemical treatments. So those are the examples of biomedical waste. In biomedical waste, we can see what are the different process of the management. In that we see incinerations. Incineration means what? Is a process of complete combustion of solid waste under controlled environment. What's happened in which we can completely combust biomedical waste under controlled environment. We can burn all the things. Incinerators are designed to operate at temperature more than 850 degrees Celsius. It reduces volume of waste 80 to 95%. It leads to oxygen recovery and complete destruction of toxic waste. The byproducts are ash, heat, and gases. Ash is used as filler material or manufacturing of bricks. Heat is used to generate energy. This is nothing but the incineration process. Another one is RDF, refuse derived fuels. So what exactly we can see? The combustible fraction of municipal solid waste is shredded into smaller, more uniform size particles for burning. This is called as RDF. The RDF thus produced may be burned in boilers on site, or it may be shipped to off-site boilers for energy conservation. If the RDF is used off-site, it is usually densified into pellets through the process of pelletization. The calorific value of RDF pellets can be around 4000 kilocalorie per kg. The RDF is used as a substitute of coal in industries. So what exactly means the RDF? The solid waste we can use as a fuel for the different companies as per their applications, and it has a calorific value up to the 4 kilocalorie per kg. So it can be possibly substitute for the coal in many industries. Companies maybe sell or buy from different another companies to use as a fuel. So here we can stop our lecture. In next lecture we can see the different types of another pollution. So thank you for watching this.